Well, let's look at Messi. Just for the record, he came on in the 56th minute tonight. And I'm sure, like you at home, we were sitting waiting for this fella to come on. And he did come on, and he did some magical things, as we expect him to do.
Yes, not as magic, because in all fairness to Juventus, defensively I think they've been very good today. They didn't give Barcelona an awful lot of space. Here he gives Deulofeu a hook who's been under par really. This is after 2 minutes. He makes a run in behind. He stretches teams, nearly catches Benatti out, and this is what we know. He draws players' attention. There's 2-3 players around him. Plays a nice little 1-2 with Suarez. Doesn't get the best ball back, but at least they get a free kick. And this is the best chance. Plays the ball. Cuadrado doesn't cover himself in glory. Dini makes a bad decision. That ball to Suarez was never on. He's got to try his own luck. He's got to try and finish that himself. But yeah, the only spark really Barcelona had in that second half was after he came on. Not what we used to, but then again, it wasn't probably not the easiest game to come on. So,
Richie, the focus then comes back onto the president of Barcelona, who is, as all presidents at that club are, kind of, you know, a divisive figure. People love him, people don't. They're not mad about him. And as Richard said, the stuff in the summer, Bellerin missed out on, Verratti losing Neymar, then even Dembele, Barcelona fans weren't sure about him. So they need to get this thing done, and quick, if it's not done already.
They do, I mean, because over the last few years, the quality of young players hasn't been coming to the academy like it was in the previous few years. The quality of players that they recruited, they've spent a good bit of money over the last few years and haven't matched the quality of the top players that have been there. And in addition to losing out on those players in the summer, to lose Neymar and to have a situation where your main man, like, maybe it's done. Maybe it is done silently, and for whatever reason, there's some reason that they all believe that it's worth delaying this announcement. I can't think of what that would be, but let's assume it's not. I don't know what the president could do that he hasn't already done. I don't know what moves you could make that he hasn't already made, because if it's a financial thing, you would assume they've given him whatever he wants. There's no reason why you would penny pinch with someone like Messi, because if he goes, like, he's irreplaceable, and if he leaves, you've lost an asset for nothing. And as you saw, football-wise, if he goes, you're leaving a demoralised dressing room, because like if the players saw Neymar leave in whatever way he did in the summer, know that the players that they wanted didn't come, and now the top fella leaves. That becomes then a club which isn't the Barcelona that we've described and watched over the last few years. First question tonight was, you know, if they've been there for the last 10 years, will they be? They won't be for many, many years if they let him go, because there's a ripple effect. It's not just the loss of him, it's just the impact and then the impression that people have of Barcelona. It won't be seen as a super club in the way that it was while Messi was a player.
And I think it's a worrying times for Barcelona fans. But if you imagine now he's going, Suarez hasn't been the player for the last few weeks. He's 30 now.
31 in January.
31 in January. So I don't think he's got an awful long left the way he has played over the last 10 years, going to South America, playing for Uruguay. Now, if Messi were to go, Suarez coming to the end of his powers, I think. Iniesta's coming to the end of his powers at some stage. What have you got? You know. Well, even like Piqué as well, like who has been the mainstay of that defence for many years. Okay, Mascherano was out injured. Like the age profile of that group, of the world-class group or whatever, the group that won so much is quite, it's the wrong side of 30. And they probably didn't need top-class defenders in the last 10 years because they're the best players going forward, because there's so much going forward. So obviously it changes the whole dynamics of the football club, and it's really a worrying time for Barcelona fans if that contract hadn't been signed or hasn't been signed. I wonder where it leaves them if he were to decide to go. Yeah.